Andrew McCART, IFL TV in association with MTK Global.
How you doing?
I'm good, how are you? With me I've got Matthew Macklin. I think this is my first interview with you.
Yeah, probably is, I think so,
It is. First of all, how are you?
I'm good, looking forward to the boxing, enjoyed the Christmas and the New Year, but I'm glad things are going again now.
It's a long January, isn't it, when there's no shows?
Yeah, I mean we had the Miami show last week, but from Christmas to the end of Jan, it dragged out a bit.
It's a nightmare for me, definitely. Well, you mentioned the show here, there's a reason why we're in Sheffield. Kell Brook returns after 14 months out against Mark DeLuca. Tough fight for Kell?
It shouldn't be, if it was the Kell that we know. I think, DeLuca's got a decent record, not a bad fighter, but he hasn't really fought any top guys. He hasn't fought anywhere near the level that Kell's been at for a long time. A couple of factors. Kell didn't look good in his last fight. Is he past it? Look, he probably is past his best. He's older now. He's achieved a lot. I very much doubt he's the Kell of old. That said, going up in weight sometimes can give a fighter a new sort of gust of ambition and energy. Didn't show, and it looked like that against Rabchenko. It looked really impressive. He come out there, blew him away in a few rounds. Rabchenko, decent fighter, so I mean it was a good win. Looked poor then last time out. Coming at 150, was that because he was trying to show that I can still do 147 again? The Amir Khan thing in the background. So there's always a few different variables and factors that can result in a good performance or a bad performance. But I think for Kell now, I think he just has to forget about Amir Khan. Even though Sky will like to make that fight because it's pay-per-view and all the rest of it, and Amir might kind of come back into the conversation. But I just think if I'm a friend of Kell or I was managing Kell or anything like that, I'd just say, let's just forget about him. Let's just think about Kell Brook. And I think about becoming world champion at super welterweight, 154 pounds. And the Khan fight ends up happening after that. Or maybe I said, but I just wouldn't waste any more time, energy, and emotion on Amir Khan anymore. I think he's dragged it out that long. Kell's had 14 months out of the ring now as well. I mean, sometimes a rest can do you good, especially when you've been boxing so long. Especially where he's at now in his career. He's on borrowed time. He will be past his best, I reckon. It certainly looks that way. Does he want to do it anymore? What's the driving ambition now? Does he want to become a two-weight world champion? Is he looking to cash out? Get one more payday? And he'll have to be honest with himself. I don't know the answers to that. I mean, he knows. We can all assume and make guesses, but really, only he knows those answers now. I think just coming in at 154 pounds and staying there and not trying to come any lighter, and just forget about welterweight. Forget about catchweights, forget about Amir Khan, and just focus on you and on what your goals and what ambitions, if you have any, what they are. And if he can get back to 90% of what he was, I think he can probably win a world title at super welterweight. I think Julian Williams lost his titles there against Rosario.
Rosario, you're right. Yeah. But they're playing hot potato with this, or parcel with these belts at 154. So there's obviously a great opportunity for Kell to win one.
Because they're not big names. So, and Kell is a big name. So I think the financials would stack up that I think Eddie could definitely get Kell a shot over here, get him, a world title shot, because it's not like he has to get himself into a mandatory position. He's a big name and he's got big backing in Matchroom and everything. So if he performs well tonight, if he goes out there and does look $1 million, then I think there's a chance that he could get a world title shot next. Could he win one? Listen, if he's 90% of what he was, I think he can, but who knows? I think sometimes you're older, it's not always a case of maybe he's not physically sharp, maybe the reflexes aren't there, maybe his body can still do it. Does he want it? He's older now, he's been pro a long time, it's a tough slug, do you know what I mean? He's earned plenty of money. He's fulfilled his dreams of becoming world champion. It's what's driving it now. Is the hunger there? I think it's the hunger that goes, and the ambition and the drive. And he doesn't have to. I'm not saying you don't wake up some days and think I still want to do it. And when fight week now, and he's probably buzzing again for it. But when you're hungry at the start of your career, you're starving every single day of the week, all day. It's all you're thinking about. You're sleeping, dreaming, everything. That's not the case now. As you get when you're older at the end of your career, you're up there now, and you think I've slugged it for so long. for relatively peanuts, and now I'm a big name in big fights. I can earn a lot of money. There's talk of a pay-per-view fight, there's talk of a couple of million here, whatever. Who doesn't want to earn a couple of million? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Me, I do.
Who doesn't want to be involved in a big fight?
Yeah.
You know, of course you do, especially when you've. But probably, if the reality is, you're not as excited about it as you were even when you were doing those 4-rounders. There's guys doing 4-rounders on this card tonight that you can see it in them. You can see the excitement, the buzz, the passion. You know, that goes after like 10, 12, 15 years. You know what I mean? It's not the same, but you know, and Kell, you know, there's a lot on the line here tonight. He knows he didn't perform well. He had 14 months out. He's obviously looked at his career, looked at himself, looked at where he wants to go in his future, and he's probably thought, I do want to go for it. I'm going to focus on light middle. And so hopefully he goes out and he looks $1 million. And if he does look $1 million, I think he'll get a shot at a world title. I mean, to be honest, if he goes out and looks $1 million against DeLuca, I don't think that necessarily means that he's not past it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because he should do. I think if he doesn't look $1 million, then I think he probably definitely is past it. You know, so it's an important night for him and to where he goes from here.
You mentioned forget about Amir Khan. You want Kell to stick around at 154. Now Eddie's mentioned at the press conference and in my interview with him that he likes the Liam Smith fight.
Yeah.
Do you like that fight for Kell?
I like that fight as a fan because I was up in Manchester when Liam Smith sparred with Kell when Liam had the Canelo fight.
Was that spar?
Possibly, yeah. He had the fight. He was meant to. I think they did 8 rounds. I think they sparred 8 rounds. Liam had the fight with Canelo, and then there was the Kell was training for Golovkin, but I think it was the spar after that when he got the cut. But I watched the 8 rounds, and it was a good spar. Let me tell you, it was a good spar. Kell had the better early, but Liam come on. It was. I remember thinking, I'd like to see that fight.
Fingers crossed one day.
Yeah, but you know, it's I mean, look, I think Call's got a good chance of getting a world title shot because of if he wins on Saturday night, he's a big name, isn't he? I think he could definitely get a world title shot. And then I think him and Liam Smith, that's a great fight. That's a great fight.
Totally agree with you. We'll get your opinion as well quickly on Kid Galahad and Terry Harper, the two fighters. The 2 fights that are underneath Kell there. Just quick thoughts on Galahad and Terry Harper.
Galahad against Moreira should be fighting tonight. I think Moreira's a good fighter. Galahad's obviously a good fighter as a final eliminator, so whoever wins it is going to get a shot next at the world title. That could be nip and tuck. Go with Galahad, you know, it's the home fighter, but I think it's not given. It's, you know, that's a close fight. And Terry Harper, big step up in Eva Wallström, but that said, I think she's gone from strength to strength the last few fights, and I think Wallström she's older now, and you know you'd be rooting for Harper and hoping she can get the job done. But it's not an easy fight for her. I think people are looking past Wallström a little bit, you know, and not probably giving her credit. So hopefully Harper isn't doing that, and I don't think they are, because I spoke with Steffi Ball, her manager trainer, yesterday, and he's very much no, we know this is a big step up and it's a tough fight. So as long as Terry Harper's not writing Wallström off and she's looking, you know, well prepared for the challenge, then hopefully Terry Harper gets over the line.
I want to talk about a couple of boxing things. I know you're strapped for time, but I want to talk about a couple of boxing things outside of Sheffield. I want to just get your opinion on the sort of Canelo, Callum Smith and Billy Joe Saunders situation. Do you believe that, well, I was toying with the idea of Murata for Canelo, but that looks dead in the water now. Do you think it is between Billy Joe and Callum for Canelo next? I mean, Canelo is his own boss, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know, isn't it? I mean, they're both tricky opponents. Callum, because of his size, he's huge. I know Billy Joe beat Kovalev in his last fight, but Kovalev was shot, and, you know, and was cashing out. You know, so I think, and you know, again, early on he was boxing okay, Kovalev, but I think most people expected that to happen, that Canelo would get the win and stuff, because they felt that Kovalev was past it. Canelo calls the shots in boxing. He's the number one man in boxing, isn't he? Whatever he says is going to happen. Billy Joe's a tricky fight for him. You know, he's slick, clever, southpaw, great footwork, movement, and you know, Canelo's very fast, explosive, great hand speed. He hasn't got the fastest feet in the world, and I think Billy Joe would be a nightmare for him, style-wise. Callum's huge. Callum's really like a light heavyweight, so they're not easy fights for Canelo. Canelo is definitely, his team will look at them and think, listen, these are difficult fights. Billy Joe, because of his movement and his speed and his craftiness, and I think and Callum because of the sheer size of him. So they're going to be two of the harder fights. But you get to a point where Canelo's going to run out of genuine, legitimate opponents, you know. So I don't know. There's obviously Derevianchenko had a good fight with Golovkin, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, what's going to happen there? Are Golovkin and Derevianchenko going to fight again, or could Derevianchenko fight Canelo? Certainly feasible now because they've fought on the zone, which is kind of where the person, you know, they're going to have a big say in who he fights too. So I don't really know. I think it's at the point where he needs to make a decision too, because Cinco de Mayo is going to be you'd imagine.
It's only 4 months away, 3 months away.
You know, and these big promotions, they like to have that 10-12 week kind of announcement. So I think in the next couple of weeks we'll know.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Well, obviously the big heavyweight fight in 2 weeks' time is Wilder Fury 2. I know you're a huge boxing fan as well as a pundit and an ex-fighter and blah blah blah. But does Tyson do it this time, or does Wilder have that?
Well, here's the thing. Tyson Fury is a much more skilled, technically better, cleverer fighter than Wilder by far. You know, that's just not even a contest. But you know, so was Ortiz. And I was at the Ortiz fight, and he won for me 6 rounds out of 6. You know, or was in the 6th or the 7th, and then he gets caught, 1 shot, bang, good night, fight's over, literally. And that's what you're facing with Wilder. So Fury's gonna outbox Wilder. That's a fact. He's gonna box his head off. He's too slick, too skillful, too clever. He's better in every department in that sense. But I think Wilder knows that. I don't think Wilder's looking to win these rounds against Fury. He's just trying to time him, trying to get closer, trying to read him, trying to set a trap. Do you know what I mean? Trying to walk him onto a shot. He knows he can't beat Tyson Fury over 12 rounds. I think he knows that. Probably like he knew he couldn't probably outbox Ortiz, so he wasn't trying to. But he was just, even though we're watching Ortiz win the fights and we're scoring him, we know he's outboxing and he's winning these rounds. What Wilder's doing is, Wilder knows he's losing the rounds on the cards, but he's starting to time him more. He's starting to get that bit more of a read of him. You know what I mean? Time is, you know, maybe, you know, a little. We all got habits. We all got habits. We all do things in patterns, and he's just trying to get that read of him because he knows 1 shot, and that's all he needs. Like,
can Fury stay away for 12 rounds though? Tough one, isn't it?
I mean, he more or less did last time. You know what I mean? I know he got put down, but he got up. You know, and actually, where he was at that point, Fury, he'd had 2 glorified spars in 2 years or 2.5 years, and you know, I actually thought that it was probably a bit too soon for him. But he, fair play to him. I mean, like his fitness, really, his conditioning to get up after those 12 rounds after that shot was phenomenal, really. It's a great fight. I mean, no one really knows because look, again, like I say, Wilder, if he didn't have that power, it's a no-brainer.
He's an nice work.
Wilder can't outbox Fury. No one in the heavyweight division can outbox Tyson Fury. He's by far the most skillful, slickest, best movement, upper body movement, feet movement. Do you know what I mean? Tactician, everything. He's the best skilled fighter in the heavyweight division, but Wilder carries that power.
Can he do it, Fury?
No, Fury can definitely. Fury should.
Do you think he'll do it? That's probably the question.
Yeah, I think so. He's just, you know, he's just got to make sure he doesn't get caught.
Finally, before I let you go, Dubois Joyce announced yesterday. Do you like that fight?
Yeah.
Question?
I don't know because they're both relatively unproven. Both obviously very good. I don't know. Joyce is hittable, isn't he? And Dubois can crack. So probably Dubois, but I don't know, to be honest.
It's a good fight, though, isn't it?
It's a good fight. They're both unproven, but we know they're both very good. But you know, they're inexperienced. Do you know what I mean? They haven't really been through situations in a fight yet. That they will do as their career goes on. But I think fair play to them for fighting each other at these stages of their career, and I think it's a good thing because whoever loses here is probably still going to go on and have a great career. It's just going to be a minor setback, but everyone's looking forward to it. Fans are happy, the networks are happy, we're all happy.
Can't complain.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I said I'll keep you for 5-10 minutes. That's been 15, so I'm due you 5 minutes.
All right.
Matt, thanks for doing Fight Club TV and
Thanks, cheers.
enjoy the
Thanks
fights
a lot.
tonight.
Nice one.
Thanks very much, mate.